This time on Monkey Life. An anxious day for the team when Xiao Kuai takes her newly adopted daughter outside for the first time.
Can't imagine that Xiao Kuai would reject the baby now. I just cannot see that. Look, who knows?
New boy Jethro comes face to face with the thieving squirrel monkeys.
You better get on the move, little man.
And Kai takes a shine to O'Sheen.
A couple of times she's turned around and given him a slap.
Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. Dr. Alison Cronin and the team dedicate their lives to rescuing and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
This is always, for me, the most stressful time. I want to see Kiki fit and healthy.
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes from 18 different species. Three days ago, the team at Gordon's Orang house arrived to find that Xiao Lan had given birth early that morning. But Xiao Kuai had hold of the newborn and wasn't letting go.
What are we going to do with you?
To this day, they don't know whether Xiao Lan didn't want her little girl or whether Xiao Kuai just took a fancy to her. Jeremy did try to persuade Xiao Lan to take her baby back.
And try and get it up to a breast if that's a possibility.
But despite numerous attempts, she just wasn't interested. So the team decided to let Xiao Kuai bring up the little girl. Xiao Kuai has been shut in with the baby ever since, and today she's being let outside for the first time. She's been a brilliant mum to her own two children, but that doesn't mean she'll continue taking care of this adopted one. And although the baby seems healthy, it's still early days.
I personally think the first 3 days are the worst danger point. How is the baby? Is the baby, showing any signs of not eating? Is the baby healthy? Can it, does everything work? It's the same as you would with a, human baby.
Jeremy is aware that the novelty could wear off for Xiao Kuai. If she turns her back on this baby, it'll need to be hand-reared.
I can't imagine that Xiao Kuai would reject the baby now. I just cannot see that. Look, who knows? You never know what's going to happen. But clearly her milk is sufficient and good enough quality because the baby seems fine so far. There's a lot of fingers crossed, but who knows?
Xiao Kuai still has milk because she's feeding her own 2-year-old son, Jin. Although Jin relies a lot on his mum, he's happy to explore on his own. But Xiao Kuai is determined to keep tabs on him, despite having a newborn clinging to her.
We were lucky with Jin because he's very much a mummy's boy, but he's just at the age now where other things are interesting. And he's got other people to go and hang out with. He's got his aunties.
One of those aunties is Ame. Since moving from the Orangutan nursery, she's missed being surrounded by youngsters. It's a treat for her to entertain Jin. And she's enjoying his antics as much as he is.
He can have a life and then just come back to his mum, and he's very, very good at it. That was a big worry, and he's very tolerant of the baby.
Life's not so easy for Xiao Lan. She's still recovering from the birth, and she's having nothing to do with the baby or the other orangs.
Xiao Lan has been very low, orangs do suffer with postnatal depression, and that's just a fact, and Xiao Lan was suffering that way. And of course, mums that don't rear their babies suffer even worse than those that do.
In the wild, Young orangs will stay close to their mums for at least 7 years and learn everything from them. But Xiaolan was taken from her mum at an early age and never had that opportunity. So it wasn't entirely unexpected when she rejected her daughter.
She's getting there slowly, and today letting her out, I think, is a very important step on that ladder for Xiaolan to have her life back, and and just treating them as normal is the culture that they understand.
It's going to take time for things to settle down, but for now, the signs are good. There's great excitement at Bueno's woolly monkey enclosure. Yurima may be pregnant. This will be great news for the park, as woolly monkeys are highly endangered due to hunting and habitat destruction.
Hey guys!
Every morning, the group are given some special cakes.
No, Yurima. It's just a mixture of oats and wheat germ, and we put their supplements in it. They get cod liver oil and they get evening primrose oil. Both them supplements can help with their hair and their nails. It also contains omega-3 oils, which is good to actually lower cholesterol and help with hypertension. And woolly monkeys are known to get high blood pressure, so that's really useful for these guys.
Woolly monkeys can suffer from stress, which can be fatal, particularly for expectant mothers. So they're taking special care of Yurima.
Yurima gets something extra added into it, and that's actually a mother-to-be vitamin supplement.
At this stage, it's difficult to prove she's pregnant.
So we've actually had to just calculate from when we've seen her mating, and also because she's started to gain a little bit of weight, so we're hoping she's pregnant, but it's not a definite, unfortunately.
Bueno is the only breeding male in this group, and this will be his 4th child if Yurima is pregnant. He's proving very popular, and the team are hoping he'll also get together with Sarah. Before she came to the park, Sarah was the last female woolly monkey in North America. She was brought in under the European Endangered Species Breeding Programme, so a mate could be found for her. She's already taken quite a shine to Bueno, so there are good prospects for a future family. The team are hopeful Sarah will take to motherhood as well as Yurima has.
Her oldest is Zingu, who lives now down with Oski's group. And then this is her youngest, Enzo, who's just 18 months old now, and she's a really good mum. She always has been, so she knows exactly what she's doing and how to look after babies.
Yurima can relax whilst Enzo has fun and games with 5-year-old Paolo. Though he still needs lots of reassurance from his mum, he's well up for a bit of bonding with the boys, and he's spending more and more time away from her. For now, they're quite happy to entertain each other and give Yurima a break. At the hospital, specialist wildlife vet John Lewis and the park's vet Mike Nathan are carrying out health checks on 4 marmosets recently brought to the park.
Every year, Monkey World gets asked to rehome and to take on so many common marmosets from the legal UK pet trade that it's just an overwhelming problem.
4 weeks ago, Alison and Jeremy were called in by the RSPCA and West Midlands Police to help rescue Lucky, Gizmo, Bubble and Squeak from a house in Stourbridge. The owner had been prosecuted for cruelty. Monkey World can only rescue a fraction of the mistreated marmosets in the UK. There just isn't space for them. They don't want any more babies, so Bubble and Gizmo are getting vasectomies today.
Birth control for all of these ragtag marmosets is absolutely essential, because the last thing we want to do is add to the problem by breeding our own.
It's a simple but very precise operation. Bubble is first.
So you do it by feel more than anything. Okay.
In such a tiny animal, John is looking for tubes just 1 millimetre wide. Not an easy task. He's mistakenly caught a vein, just enough to make it bleed.
When you're looking for very small structures, a minute hemorrhage, just a spot of blood, obstructs your visual field. It's not a problem for the animal, it's a nuisance for the surgeon. Don't move the animal. There we go. Oh, that's a joke getting...
A specimen will be sent off to the lab to make sure that a section of the right tube has been removed. The X-rays will show any signs of rickets, a bone deficiency caused by lack of sunlight. It's a common problem in captive marmosets.
Not bad, straight enough.
Bubble gets the all clear. Now it's Gizmo's turn. He too gets a thorough health check.
Yeah, he's got body fat on him as well.
Like all primates at the park, Gizmo is fitted with a microchip.
Happy with that? Yeah.
He's also clear of rickets. The boys are in pretty good shape, so that's 2 checks done, 2 more to go. Since arriving from Somerset, Sarky monkey Jethro has been living in the Squirrel monkey house. His lively neighbours are getting used to the odd-looking newcomer.
Hi, Fitch.
And today, they'll all come face to face without the mesh between them. Jethro was brought to Monkey World when his owners could no longer keep him.
When any animal arrives, then we'll watch them for a good length of time to get to know them, what they like, what they don't like, and also how they move around as well.
Jethro's not so active. At 22 years old, he's an old man and showing signs of stiffness in his limbs, so they need to make some changes to the adjoining room before he goes in.
The squirrel monkeys are pretty able, but just by watching Jethro, he seems to struggle a little bit more, especially with his back legs. So yeah, we're just adding a few more bits in for him. Yeah.
The introduction is being done inside, so the team can carefully monitor the first meeting.
In an opinion, I'd be inclined just to open the inner slides to begin with, so that they don't come around and catch them out from behind at first. Oh, there you go. Look. Fantastic. They're just running back and forth past him. The squirrel monkeys are being very respectful of Jethro's sort of space, so they're trying to go around him, but they are going in and out of that door. Nobody's going to stop them. I reckon it's going to be only a matter of time before they're interested in having a look at his fur, or he's interested in having a look and touching them.
Good lad.
Jethro cautiously ventures out of his own bedroom.
Well done.
That's very cool.
And cheeky Samantha's straight into his basket. But when she heads for his food, that's a step too far.
Yeah, you better get on the move, little man.
Gonna be no food left in the net.
He's shown little interest in eating since he arrived, but there's only one way to stop the girls getting his food.
He's had lots of food around him and he's just kind of picked it as and when, but now suddenly the squirrel monkeys have come in and they're sort of raiding his food bowls, and now he's suddenly really hungry and he's eating everything from his bowl.
Topsy decides the new boy's too big to annoy. And Fidget's keeping a low profile. He's minding his own business and ignoring the newcomer.
An uneventful introduction is really the best we could have asked for, and they can get to know each other slowly, and hopefully we'll spend the rest of today together, and if all's good, we can leave it overnight and that's it done. It's just really nice that Jethro has some other primates that he's living with now, so really pleased so far.
At the Park's hospital, health checks on the recently rescued marmosets continue. It's the turn of the two females.
Female marmoset who feels pregnant.
I think she's pregnant.
Because they've been living with the two boys, Alison and Jeremy are convinced they must have mated. John will need to handle them carefully.
If she was very late pregnant, was about to give birth, I wouldn't want to grab her and stress her to that extent. That could cause a premature birth.
Squeak seems to be in good health, but are Alison and Jeremy right? Is she pregnant? An X-ray should reveal all. The moment of truth.
Nothing obvious.
I don't think there are any babies in there. I can't see anything. Dead sharp.
Against all odds, Squeak doesn't seem to be carrying any babies. Everyone's thankful.
We're relieved in a way that we don't think she's pregnant because we don't really need any more marmosets, so we want the space free to be able to rescue any more. So yeah, in that sense we're relieved, so that's really good.
Last up is Lucky. She also has a complete health check.
Okay, she can go for X-ray, Mike.
No, that's good. You can wake her up.
And it looks like Lucky has escaped pregnancy as well. The girls will go back to living with Bubble and Gizmo, but with their vasectomies done, there'll be no chance of pregnancies in the future. At the Orang nursery, newcomer Kai is settling in well. He's now 7 years old and maturing. He moved over from Gordon's group 2 weeks ago. He's gradually been meeting his new housemates and has found a new friend in Xiao Ning. After a shaky start, he's been accepted by the mischievous duo Linga and Dinda. It's now time for him to meet the rest of the nursery gang. Playful Jolie, big girl O'Sheen, and baby Sylvester.
Kai's super, he's really in his element, they're all happy. Obviously Jolie's got to go in yet, but she's already been feeding Kai through the mesh with carrots and stuff. And then we're going to let Jolie have access to the tribe now, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open the door and let O'Sheen and Sylvester in.
These introductions are likely to be more challenging, as O'Sheen isn't known for her warm welcomes.
Right, you ready?
Jolie and Kai waste no time in getting acquainted. The team are so pleased with the way this meeting is going that they decide to get straight on with the introduction to O'Sheen and Sylvester, who are waiting in the playroom, unaware of what's about to happen. Curious Kai heads straight for her, completely bypassing Sylvester. Kai is intrigued by O'Sheen, but can't understand why she doesn't want him anywhere near her.
Kai is obviously more mature than he looks. This is obviously an adult female, and he's actually acting more like an adult male, to be honest with you.
O'Sheen is very wary of him. This pushy youngster has come as quite a shock. The more she runs away from him, the more he's determined to make friends, whether O'Sheen likes it or not. Jeremy's chaperoning Kai just to make sure things don't get out of hand.
She's clearly not ready for this. She gives him a couple of slaps, that might slow him down a bit. She wants a bit more courting, I think, in this caveman approach that Kai's got.
Jolie comes to the rescue and distracts Kai. O'Sheen is worn out by it all. She's usually the one who rules the roost, but now she's feeling pretty insecure. She's keeping Sylvester close by for reassurance and hoping Kai will leave her alone. But no chance. He's not giving up.
In general, she's not really a touchy-feely sort of person. And, you know, Kai being very interested in her wants contact, and she doesn't. A couple of times she's turned around and given him a slap. That will establish the place where he's got to be, because she does that a couple more times, and hopefully he'll realise that playing with the little ones is going to be more fun than this grumpy old, although fascinating, morphic blob that's all of a sudden in his space. I think everybody except for Oisin thinks he's great, and they just want to play with him and hang out with him. And you know, he is actually playing nicely. He's not got any favouritism happening, and he's not being too rough, and he's actually being very, very considerate.
It's going to take time for Oisin to get used to Kai being around. But one thing's for certain, the nursery is going to be a livelier place from now on. Next time on Monkey Life. Alison responds to an urgent call from the RSPCA.
Today's an emergency situation, and we just have to hope that everything's going to be okay for the monkey that we haven't even seen or met yet.
And will Kai be able to cope without his mum?
He's got all these young ladies to play with and all the, you know, it's a nice place to be.